The previous episode had ended with the start of the battle between the Division 1 defense forces against the Kaiju, while at the time Kikoru managed to show extraordinary progress when using his new weapon. On the other hand, Kafka could not even make changes to Kaiju number 8 mode when Kaiju number 9 appeared to target him. The story continues with Kafka, who is shocked when he sees the appearance of Kaiju number 9, who looks different from before. Likewise with Kaiju number 9, he who initially came because he felt the presence of Kaiju number 8 but became confused because the Kaiju number 8 he was looking for was not there, making him suspect that the person in front of him was Kaiju number 8. When Kafka muttered, "Does Kaiju number 9 also have the ability to feel the presence of Kaiju inside him?" Suddenly, Kaiju number 9 immediately launched his attack on Kafka to find out whether Kafka was really Kaiju number 8 or not. Then Narumi tried to contact the strategy room to ask how the current condition of Kaiju number 8's shapeshifting. But from the reports he got, it turned out that Kafka still couldn't change to Kaiju number 8 mode even though he had repeatedly tried it. Knowing that, Hasegawa then asked Narumi what should they do. Because if this situation continues, they will definitely lose Kaiju number 8. Then Narumi replied, "Since their opponent this time is a numbered Kaiju, so let him face it directly." Suddenly Narumi was surprised by the appearance of Kaiju number 9, making Hasegawa and Narumi confused whether Kaiju number 9 can also divide or double himself, or indeed from the beginning Kaiju number 9 was 2. On the other hand, Shinomiya, who realized that this situation would definitely inconvenience Narumi to move to help Kafka, then she planned to move to Narumi's place and fight Kaiju number 9. But unfortunately, suddenly Shinomiya and the other members were intercepted by Kaiju ants who could rise again, even though they had previously defeated them. Seeing this situation, they finally concluded that this situation was very similar to what was written in the 3rd Division Troop report, and if this was indeed true as written in the report, then Shinomiya was very sure that these resurrected Kaiju would also get stronger. There seemed to be panic in the strategy room after receiving reports from each squad leader that the resurrected Kaiju had grown stronger to the point that the situation was reversed. Even worse, now the range of the ant Kaiju was also much wider than what was recorded in the 3rd Division report. Narumi, who realized that just by her appearance the situation could immediately change drastically. Narumi also said, "Is this the power of Kaiju number 9? The scene switches to show Kafka at this time. Kaiju number 9 is seen who has just finished spreading his Kaiju seeds in every direction while saying to Kafka, "Kaiju number 8, now I will kill you and then deprive you of your Kaiju power." After saying that, Kaiju number 9 immediately launched his attack on Kafka to make Kafka receive severe injuries. Kafka seemed to have difficulty avoiding attacks from Kaiju number 9 because his attacks were invisible, plus because Kaiju ants also attacked Kafka when he couldn't move. Unfortunately, Kafka continued to receive multiple attacks from his opponent without being able to reply even once, even though he was aware that his opponent this time was indeed very dangerous, so he had to immediately change to his Kaiju mode. Unfortunately, Kafka again failed to make changes, even though he had to immediately defeat Kaiju number 9 in front of him. Kaiju number 9 is seen preparing his final attack to kill Kafka, but unexpectedly by Kaiju number 9, just when he had just said goodbye to Kafka, suddenly Kikoru appeared from behind Kaiju number 9 to launch his surprise attack, causing Kaiju number 9's body to be split in 2, and even the ant Kaiju was also successfully overthrown by Kikoru. Kafka looks like he didn't expect that Kikoru would come to help him, but even though Kikoru's attack did succeed in splitting Kaiju number 9's body, it turns out that Kaiju number 9 can still recover himself with his regeneration abilities. Then he asks Kikoru, "Who are you?" Kikoru replied, "It doesn't matter if you remember me or not. Anyway, this time I will finish you off immediately." On the other hand, we see Isao, who seems worried about the current battle situation. Keiji says, "Stay where you are, Isao. I know you intend to intervene if Kaiju number 8 returns to Rampage. I respect your readiness, but the power of Kaiju number 2 that you use is a weapon that can reduce the lifespan of its user, so continuous use will definitely endanger your life. In response to Keiji's words, Isao replied, he himself knew about it, after all. According to him, this was a test that their generation had to pass on their own. While when Kikoru asked Kafka why he didn't change to Kaiju mode, then Kafka replied that he could not change, even though he had tried it repeatedly but still failed. Kikoru also suspected that this was the work of Kaiju number 9. Kaiju number 9 is seen preparing to launch his attack on Kikoru and Kafka again, but both of them can still avoid the attack by jumping to the side. Kikoru told Kafka that she would make Kaiju number 9 seriously injured and stop his movement. So if it is true that Kaiju number 9 is the cause of why Kafka cannot transform, then there will definitely be a gap when he is recovering, and also although Kikoru herself is upset to admit it. But for now, they need the power of Kaiju number 8 to defeat Kaiju number 9. After saying that, Kikoru and Kafka moved to the right and left sides of Kaiju number 9 to launch a two-pronged attack, but unexpectedly for them, it turned out that Kaiju number 9 could also split itself in two, making Kafka and Kikoru the ones who were actually hit by Kaiju number 9, even when Kikoru was still muttering that Kaiju number 9's movements were unpredictable. Suddenly Kikoru was surprised again by Kaiju number 9, who once again attacked Kikoru from a distance, causing Kikoru to receive a wound in his stomach. Kafka, who saw the incident, shouted Kikoru's name because he was worried about her. Even though Kikoru was currently injured from the attack, Kikoru quickly jumped towards Kaiju number 9 to launch an attack, making Kaiju number 9 very surprised. How could Kikoru still be able to move that fast? Then, as Kikoru muttered that she didn't want to feel lost anymore without being able to do anything, so this time she would definitely help Kafka. Very nimbly, Kikoru once again launched an attack on Kaiju number 9 to make Keiji, who saw it, so surprised and did not expect that Kikoru had become that strong. Even so strong it felt like Keiji was watching the figure of Kikoru's mother when she was young. The scene then shows a flashback of Kikoru's childhood memories. At that time, Kikoru's face lit up when she saw her mother named Hikari Shinomiya, the captain of the 2nd Division of the Defense Forces who had succeeded in carrying out an extraordinary Kaiju suppression, which is armed with the power of Kaiju number 4, which is one of the strongest weapons belonging to the Defense Forces. Hikari successfully crashed into the battlefield to make her look like a Valkyrie figure. Kikoru proudly admitted in front of her friends that Hikari was her mother, until nightfall when Hikari just returned to her house. Happily, Kikoru welcomed her mother's return by jumping on her face. Isao, who saw it, then told Kikoru to stop doing that because his mother was tired, but since Hikari is a jolly mother figure and very affectionate to Kikoru, Hikari didn't mind that and instead invited Kikoru to play while asking if Kikoru had been a good girl at home while his mother was away on duty. Kikoru then told his mother that she had seen his mother on TV, and everyone said that his mother was very cool. But when Kikoru accidentally saw a bandage on his mother's arm, Kikoru asked, "Is his hurt, Mom?" Until after his mother replied, "This happened because the Kaiju today was quite strong, but yes, it's fine." Suddenly, Kikoru told her mother that she would later also join the Defense Forces in order to help her mother. Hearing that, suddenly Hikari and Isao were very surprised and did not expect that their innocent daughter also wanted to become a defense force in order to help her mother. So Hikari immediately stroked Kikoru's head while saying, "Then if later Kikoru is in trouble, then Mom will also help Kikoru." But who would have thought that a few days after that incident, there was a Kaiju disaster caused by Kaiju number 6 that caused many casualties. One of the victims was Hikari Shinomiya, the captain of the 2nd Division of the Defense Forces. His death was the most imprinted on everyone's hearts, because without his noble sacrifice from her, there would have been many more casualties arising from the Kaiju disaster at that time. While on the side of Kikoru, who never imagined that his mother would die so soon, suddenly Kikoru felt very sad and thought that she herself was a liar even though she had promised to help her mother when she was in trouble. But when Kikoru glanced at Isao and tried to call him, Kikoru was surprised by Isao, who stared blankly ahead with a face filled with anger because of this incident. Kikoru immediately stopped crying and apologized to his late mother for not being able to help her, but instead from then on Kikoru vowed to become the strongest warrior in the entire world and take the place of his mother to save everyone, including not letting any of his comrades die. It seems that Kikoru has launched his attack on Kaiju number 9 until she manages to cut off one of his hands, but because at that time, Kaiju number 9 also immediately removes the ant head that is the foothold of Kikoru. Unfortunately, Kikoru could not launch his follow-up attack on Kaiju number 9. Fortunately, Kafka quickly moved towards the ant Kaiju to kick his legs until he fell. In the end, Kikoru was able to get the opportunity to launch his attack, once again on Kaiju number 9, with the 6th move Defense Force Flow Axe technique, which she named Daruma Otoshi. From that attack, Kikoru managed to cut Kaiju number 9's body to pieces. She swiftly shouted at Kafka to immediately make changes right now, but just when Kafka was about to make changes while muttering that this was an opportunity that had been made by his partner, so he had to end it right now, Kafka suddenly saw a shadow of himself being controlled by Kaiju number 8. And after Kafka transformed, Kaiju number 8 also immediately killed the Kikoru with his own hands.